Yeah, what's happening, people? Big up to every single one of you. Apologies, my Wi-Fi is moving a bit mad, so I don't know what was happening at the intro there, but we are here. I believe you can all hear me. Shout me if you can hear me. Hopefully, there's no audio issues because I had that the other day and that was mad. Big up to everyone that's in the chat. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Look. We've got a lot to talk about today. The press conference reaction is here. It's in. Mikel Arteta has spoken, and we are going to be chatting about the things that he said. We're also going to be talking about tomorrow's game very, very briefly, but we're going to do more on that tomorrow as well. We're going to go through some of the transfer rumors as well today. So just a short one today, just to get. We've got Race for Europe tonight at 8 p.m. So that will be back as well. So make sure that you're tuned for that one. Let's go through, first of all, the first few things, which is please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. We're only a couple of hundred away now from the big 3-0. So that should be done within the next few days, please, people. All you've got to do is hit the like and subscribe button there. That's all you've got to do. And then the other two things to share with you is, of course, our sponsors, Reality Raffles. 99 pence per ticket for a match day experience and football tickets to a match of your choice. £500 worth of a match day experience is what you can win. If people are saying to me, how do I get tickets to the Emirates? How do I get to away games? Go and watch Arsenal. Go and watch a team of your choice. Get in the price of 99 pence. Go to Reality Raffles, click on the link in the description or pin to this comment section, and you can get in here. The draw is on Friday, so you don't have long, people. It's only 99p. And if you want 10% off that, which a lot of people have said to me, oh, I'm not going to bother, Dan, it's only 99p. But if you do want 10% off, then it's FTM10, and that is 10% off. So please do me a favor and show them some love, because they show us a lot of love as well. So please make sure that you do that. And if you haven't done so already, then please make sure you go over to the description and click on the Eventbrite link and get your tickets secured for This Is London Live, which will be at the Hippodrome Casino on the 24th of January. There will be Sophie from Highbury Squad, lead judges, and other special guests, as well as football's 12th man guests and the This Is London panel. That is all now confirmed, including D, including Deji, myself, Don, Lawless, and Gunnar Lee. We will all be there. Lead judges will be there as well, and there'll be other guests for you. So please make sure that you get your ticket. You can either click on the link in the description and follow the Eventbrite link, or you can scan the QR code, which is on here now. So please make sure that you do that. We've got quite a lot of you that have signed up already. So please don't miss that opportunity, because it'd be great to meet you all in person. So please make sure that we do that. Big up to all of you guys in the chat that are live here. Make sure you hit like and you've hit subscribe. Let's go through, shall we? The press conference that Mikel Arteta has literally only an hour or so ago, maybe it was a bit longer than that, provided Sky Sports. Let's bring this up now. My computer is moving so slow. Apologies. Hopefully you can all see this eventually when it comes up on screen. But here we go. This is live from the Arsenal website, which is the one I always use. Ethan Nwaneri, he is injured. And they were asking on Nwaneri's injury. He said, unfortunately, he's picked up an injury and he's going to be out for weeks. He was asked on the type of injury. He said it's a muscular injury. Now, the last time I was told that a player was out for a few weeks was Tomiyasu. And I haven't seen Tomiyasu play since the 6 minutes he played at Southampton. Before that was pre-season. No, it wasn't even pre-season. It was last season. So Tomiyasu is one that's been out for ages. Now, I'm sorry, but this is not looking good at the moment for injuries. We're in a position at the moment where we've got quite a lot of problems with injuries on the right-hand side, with Saka out, Sterling out, and of course now you've got Ethan Nwaneri out. What are we going to do on that right-hand side? There really is only two options. It's Martinelli or Jesus. I would personally play Jesus out wide right with Havertz through the middle, and then on the left it will be Martinelli for me, with Trossard coming on from the bench. That's what I would do. But we have no other attackers to bring on now other than Leandro Trossard. That's a big problem. That's a big, big problem. So I don't know what we do, where we go from here, but there is a transfer window open. More on that later. This one comes in and says, if Kai Havertz will be back for Newcastle, he says he hopes so, but he doesn't want to say yes yet, because last time he thought he was going to be fit and he wasn't. He was asked if there's any issues with illness in the squad soon. He said yes. And if there could be any other players missing, he said, hopefully not. So there obviously still is this bug, this flu, this cold, this symptoms that have kept the likes of Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz away from competing regularly with Arsenal in the last couple of games is due to the illness. We saw Declan Rice and Martinelli, who were mentioned as not feeling 110%. You could quite visibly see that Martin Odegaard was not fully fit, if I'm honest. Really was quite random and bizarre to see him there. Yeah, bizarre. Anyway, it looks like the illness is getting better, I would suggest, but I don't think that everyone is 100%. And I think he means Kai Havertz. I think Havertz will be fine, and I think he will play. I think he has to play. If he doesn't, it'll have to be Trossard left, Jesus through the middle, and Martinelli on the right. And we're going to have to bring some of these youngsters into the mix, I think, if it gets any worse. So, yeah, I think that's the way I see it. So not good news in terms of Ethan Nwaneri. And I'll say this, how is he out for weeks? The guy didn't get tackled. The guy didn't fall funny. The guy didn't come off as injured. The guy didn't get stretchered off. It was obviously something that he was able to play with as like a knock and continue playing with. But he's come off now and he's out for weeks. I mean, crikey, the kid's only literally just got his first start and his first goal. It really is crazy. It really is. So that's that. He was asked on how much importance he places on the semi-final. Now, I have been kind of guilty of saying that he doesn't take some of these cups serious, I suppose. Since winning the FA Cup, I think he's only won 2 games in the whole of the competition in that 5-year period. He's just dumped out of their others. The Carabao Cup, we did get to a semi-final against Liverpool, but we lost. And that was another sending off from Granit Xhaka, or was it Thomas Partey? I can't remember. Someone got sent off and we lost. Look, I think we have to take this seriously. Opportunity to get to the final. It's more important than the FA Cup game, this one, because we can get to a final in Wembley. Let's go and do it. Let's go and do it. He says we're very excited to play the game in front of our crowd. It's a semi-final and an opportunity to earn the right to be in a final. That starts tomorrow with 2 legs. Obviously, they're going to be 2 long games against a very competitive team, and we know that. But we're very excited. We need a big atmosphere in our stadium. Well, trust me, the fans will have to do their job, and this comes back to something away from and aside from the manager and the board and the ownership. The fans have got to do a better job, if I'm honest, at this stadium, because it hasn't been as electric. And I appreciate and understand that the football doesn't always allow for us to get that excited and that intense. And sometimes, if I'm honest, the VAR doesn't either. But I've been to the midweek games this season and it has been poor. I went to Ipswich Town and it was dead, but it was the festive period. I've been to the Champions League games, and if it's a balloting problem, then fair play, but there was no atmosphere whatsoever. And the Champions League games and the midweek games so far, whether it be Carabao Cup, whether it be Champions League games, or whether it be the midweek games in the Premier League, have been really dead. Now, I don't know if it's because people are working and they're coming back from work a little bit later. Maybe they've not drunk, so there's not as much tipsiness around the atmosphere in terms of people screaming and shouting or building up as atmosphere. Sometimes you have to have a few beers, don't you, to get in the confidence of singing songs and stuff, some people believe. But let's actually start to make a bit of an atmosphere and make it a little bit hostile. Because trust me, when we go to St. James's Park, it will be hostile. It will be very hostile. Yeah. So we have to actually get into a stage of trying to do our job at the ground, because it hasn't been as good this season. It hasn't been as electric. So we've got to do our job there. That's for sure. He was asked on what winning the competition would do to the squad. He said he doesn't know. Oh, is that for real? What would winning this competition do for this squad, Mikel? I don't know. Oh dear, he does say some silly things, doesn't he? He says he doesn't know. We just have to win tomorrow. There's still so far to go. We have to try to be better than the opposition and win the game. That is an answer that I could have given. I mean, I could have done that. I could have been a manager saying that. What do you think winning this competition would do for the squad, Dan? I don't know. We just got to win tomorrow, and we'll have to try and be the better team, because if you're better than the opposition, you win the game. Imagine if that was actually. Oh my! I can't believe he's actually said that. That's actually mad. That is actually a mad, mad answer to a question. Surely you say it'll win. It'll be a winning. It'll bring winning mentality. It will breed confidence. It will allow us to get a flavour of what might be in May to go and win again. Surely you can answer that a lot better. I mean, crikey, I'm not trying to tell him how to do his job, but that is absolutely embarrassing, isn't it? What do you think that might mean if you win this competition? I don't know. Wow. How to stop Alexander Isak? This is very interesting because obviously they were going to ask him on this question. When they answered this question, he was quite respectful. He didn't make it clear that he was a big fan of Alexander Isak or he was a player that he appreciated of coming one day to Arsenal. And I thought questions were going to go lead that way, but they didn't. So let's see what he says here. He said he's a top player in top form, scoring lots of goals. We tried to minimize the strength of the opposition. And that's a big part of the plan when we're playing against any opponent. I think it would be foolish just to concentrate on Isak because they do have players I rate in Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes. They do have Tonali and Joe Linton, who I'm a fan of. Obviously, Bruno Gomares and Shah are both out and set to miss the game. But they have a good side, Newcastle. They really do. He says on the Newcastle midfield that he thinks only about his players and the ones that he has available, and he wants to get the best out of them. Then he was asked about the penalty incident, and it was kind of looked at and answered quite sort of in a way you could see his frustration. When I looked at it live, he said he gave his opinion. Unfortunately, we played twice against Brighton. One for another reason, for 45 minutes, we had 10 men, and another with the penalty that's clearly not a penalty. But those are the conditions that we played in, and we can't change it now. Now, I respect the last bit. We can't change it now and keep going on about it. But he has been frustrated that we haven't been able to beat Brighton. Well, I would say that it was actually on our play that didn't allow us to beat Brighton twice because Havertz missed an absolute sitter in the first game, at 1-1 with 10 men. And in the second leg, we should have done better because we were absolutely awful. Not the second leg, you know what I mean? The reverse fixture. But Brighton's done now. If there's any chance to add to the squad before the end of January, he said that hasn't changed. Again, the focus is our players. He keeps talking about this. Our players are what is important. Whatever's in the market, we're very alert, but the priority is working with the players we have at the moment and tomorrow night, which is a big night for us. It's not a yes and it's not a no. He's trying to say, isn't he, that he's got a squad that he wants to trust in, but if they can do something, they will. They're going to have to do something. They're absolutely going to have to do something now. When you get the news to Nwaneri, on top of the fact that we've got defenders in Ben White and Tomiyasu still out, we've got midfielders now in Saka out, as well as Nwaneri, as well as Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz, Erdegaard, Rice and Martinelli have all been hit with illness over the last 48 hours or so. We need to be really serious about this now and go into that market and actually get a couple of players. I just don't know how much money is available. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Let's talk about this next part. He was asked on whether the semi-final should be one game. I've never understood why there is two legs in the semi-finals of the League Cup. I don't know any other competition other than European competitions that has two-legged games from the semi-finals onwards. Obviously, the last 16 of the Champions League and the European leagues are. But why the hell have we got two games just randomly in a semi-final? Why does that happen? It is so, so strange. He was asked about that. He said, it doesn't matter. They're two beautiful games to play. My opinion doesn't count, unfortunately. So if I had to pick, it would be one and it would be at home. And if you gave me that chance, that's what I would like. He's kind of tongue-in-cheek saying that. He was laughing while he was saying it. So that's not been a serious comment there. Obviously, he was laughing and joking with the journalists. But I do think it's a random one to play two. But it's been like that for a while. I'm just glad there's no away goals in it because that was stupid as well. There was away goals in the League Cup years ago. We got done over by it with a Jason Roberts goal back in 2006 at Highbury. We were wearing the red currant kit, I remember. And we just needed to equalise. And Jason Roberts scored. And then we needed 2 goals. Crazy. Anyway, talking on Eddie Howe and what he has done differently recently. He says he doesn't know. It's a really good question for him. There's a tough opponent for everybody. They're a really good side, really well coached, and they have really good individual players, the same as it's difficult to play against us. Being able to hear the VAR in a stadium during the semi-finals. What's that? Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Any decision that brings clarity and communication that's clear and transparent, I think it's helpful. What's happening here, people? What is happening here? So we are getting VAR in the League Cup for the semi-finals, are we? Did anyone know that? I had no idea about this. So apparently VAR is being introduced in the League Cup. It hasn't been throughout the whole of this competition. They're bringing it into the semi-finals, and we are going to be able to hear. Wow. Well, that is news to me. I had no idea that was happening. New VAR trial announced for our Newcastle Cup tie. We're going to be able to hear the VAR in the stadium during the semi-finals. Any decision that brings clarity and communication that's clear and transparent, I think it's helpful. This is a really, really good thing. So that means when the VAR is on screen, we are going to be able to listen in to what the referees in Stockley Park are discussing, I guess. And they're going to be able to explain everything. So it will be over the tannoy. Wow. That is definitely something I did not expect to read. That is that's quite interesting now. What's annoying is they're bringing it in because it's been quite nice without it. It only stays in the stadium, people are saying. Only the decision, not the discussion. Right, okay. So a decision will be made. Right, so they're going to basically, so it hasn't actually, I've read that wrong then. So it's literally just the decision. It's not the how they've got to that decision. They're just going to announce it over the tannoy instead of just showing it up on screen to say goal or no goal. Oh, okay. Well, that's not a massive difference then, is it? Okay, that was interesting. I read that completely wrong. So yeah. So that what is actually the point of that then? So it's going to come on the screen saying goal, and it will just say over the tannoy, it's it's a goal. Just I don't see how that is really the difference. I thought that was like you're going to hear the discussions and all this. No, like in rugby, that's just mad. Anyway, he was asked on how hard it is to coach players on what the laws of the game are now. He said he works by the rules and he tries to coach them. And then if it's a part of those rules, it's the interpretation. It's not very easy for the referees to make that call. We understand that, and coaching differently, I think it's impossible. If I'm honest with you, I think it is hard now because for those that are now looking at that Saliba incident, what are they supposed to do as a defender? Not go for a header because you might end up clashing heads and giving a penalty away. What do you do with handball? Is it allowed to be by your side like Joe Linton at the weekend? Or is it that it can be up like it was for Delict because people said that was hard? No one has a clue, do they? No one has a clue. And the problem I've got is it's such a grey area now. And they need to make the rules black and white. They do. They do. And, offside, if there's a part of your body onside, you're onside. If all of your body is offside, you're offside. That's black and white. Goal line technology. The goal line is cool. Why don't they extend it all around the pitch so we know the ball's gone out or not? Black and white. Yeah. Then we have the handball. Make the rule. If it hits your hand, it's just a handball. Or if your hand moves away from your body, it's a handball. If it is down by your side, it's not. None of this, it's in a natural position. Just if it's not up here, up above your, if your hand's not above your waist, let's say, or not above your chest, then it's not a handball. Something that's black and white. That's what we need. And unfortunately, yeah, it's not good at the moment. There's too many rules that are grey for me. Okay, this one, it says on if it's not easy for him. What does that mean? Sometimes, coaching the rules. Sometimes it is for coaching purposes because we don't coach any players to have the arms away from their body or just to keep the ball when the opponent's away from you. It's very difficult to coach that. I think it's difficult for everyone. Has he enjoyed this season? He says he loves it. We're all in all the competitions. We're where we want to be in most of them. Obviously, in the league, for a lot of circumstances, we're not where we want to be, which is top. I understand that. That willingness to be better every single day, to try to improve and not look for excuses, because in anything that you do, you look for excuses, you're going to find them. These are challenges. These are situations we're facing, and we're trying to do the very best to overcome them and still be a really good team. So let's just break this paragraph down a bit, because I'm not particularly happy with this season. I'm not unhappy so far because we're in every single competition, right? But I'm not too happy with the league position. That's what I will say. And do you know what? I don't think he is either. So he says he loves the season. He's going to. He's the Arsenal manager. He says we're in all competitions, which is correct. He says he's where we want to be with most of them, but apart from the league, where we want to be top, which I think is fair. But what I like what he said was the end. We're not going to look for excuses. When you look for excuses, you seem to find them. That was really interesting, because there's a lot of this Arsenal fan base looking for excuses. Look at our injuries. Look at our red cards. Look at the referees. They hate us. Look at the fact that we're trying to put out a team and everyone keeps getting injured. Look at these bad decisions that are happening. Oh, Liverpool, it's not fair. They've inherited a title winning side with Klopp. Oh, they haven't got any injuries. All of this stuff is just nonsense. Let's be real, people. We haven't been good enough on the pitch, which is why we're sitting behind Liverpool. That's basically what it is. So that's what I quite like about that answer. On how the players are feeling, he says we discussed the situation, the fact we have used to use players in positions that probably haven't played in before. We're learning a lot from that, and what I learn especially is the willingness of them. You speak to any individual and ask them to play anywhere on the field, and they say, I'm there. That's great as well to learn from your players. So he's basically asking people to play in a number of positions. And I've said this to a few times now. I don't like the fact that he is doing that. I don't like the fact that he is making everybody play everywhere. I want him to play people in the right positions. I want to be seeing, other than Rare in goal, which is obvious, I want to see Timber at right back. I want to see an actual left back play left back, whether it's Luis Skelly or Calafiori. I want to see Gabriel and Saliba at the back. I want to see Partey playing in the number 6 role. I want to see Rice playing in the number 6 role or a double pivot alongside him. I don't want to see anybody but Saka on the right. And when he isn't there, I want to see one of our backup right wingers, not try and put one of our central defenders in there, or left winger come over to right. Let's just have 11 players and 11 backups, not 11 players and then we've got 5 or 6 that play in 7 or 8 different positions. That's not what I need. I don't want that. So that's what we've got to be looking at, in my opinion. On Kieran Tierney, he said there's absolutely no news. Kieran is our player. Let's be real. Kieran Tierney is going to end up going to Celtic. As soon as there's an agreement in place, I say, see you later, Kieran. Good luck. Let's just terminate your deal. Let him go on a free. We haven't treated him well enough to get any money. And let's hope he revives his career at the age of 27 and he has a good time over there. He's been treated horrendously, hasn't he? My goodness. How can you get treated this badly when you've done nothing wrong? Really is mad. Anyway, on how hard it's been tactically trying to come up with solutions to problems. It's a good learning process, not only tactically, but also prep and training with very few players. Today, we had 7 or 8 players with us just to fill the squad, which isn't normal, but it's a weird way to learn, but I'll take it. I can't change it, so let's take the things that we can get out of it to be better. Then he was asked about Mikel Merino, a player that I've given a lot of stick over the last few games. Not horribly or made him a scapegoat. I just don't think he's been impressive enough. I don't think he's been a player that I can look at as a signing and think, wow, this is next level, which is what we were told he was going to be. I think in the last 2 weeks, he's made a big stride. Obviously, he's had more minutes and physically he's in a much better place. He missed the whole of pre-season and then he missed a lot of weeks with an injury, and you can tell that he's growing. I hope he gets better, because at the moment, I'm not too sure that I'm a fan. How a 2-legged tie with the away leg last changes things. He says it's similar to the Champions League, but the aim is always to win the game, be better than the opposition and earn the right to win it. That's not going to change because we've had a lot of games. Well, look, we actually don't finish this fixture now until the 5th of February. So although we start it tomorrow, we've got to pretty much get through the whole rest of January and the bit of the start of February before we understand if we're going to the final. That's quite a lot, isn't it? It's quite a lot. So, yeah, that's quite a long time. So let's see. Let's see. On having to be reactive in the January window and lower our expectations, he said, hopefully not, because we set very high standards and we really want to only have players here that are coming from our academy, or we have to sign players to re-elevate and impact the team. Otherwise, just bringing in bodies doesn't help us. I agree with that. Just bringing in any bodies doesn't mean you're going to now go forward, but you actually do need to have a squad that's competitive. So you can't just keep bringing through academy players like Paul Maldini on the bench or Butler Adeji coming on, or we're bringing on what's his name? I can't even remember his name now. But obviously, you've got Ethan and Mars Lewis Skelly. Those 4 or 5 youngsters, Heaven was what I was meaning, not Heaven. They're the ones I'm not looking at, thinking, wow, they're going to be a massive part of this squad coming forward here for this title race. We shouldn't be using these kids, man. It's ridiculous. I admire the Emirates the most, 100%, he says. The way we can feel at the Emirates with our people is incredible, and I'm very positive that tomorrow we're going to create a big one against a really good opposition in the semi-final at the Cup that we want to win, so let's go for it. He said on whether it was a mistake not to have a winter break this year, he said certainly it would have helped every team, and especially the players, because we're putting more games on them on their back of 2 seasons that have been really high in terms of numbers. We knew from the start that if you're in every competition, you're not going to have that break. And that's how we have prepared as well. Bullshit. We have not prepared at all for having a number of games. We have got the finished squad in the league, Mikel. What are you talking about? We have not prepared well for the most games. This is what I hate about him. He just lies through his teeth. On whether it's impossible for our players to play every minute with our style, sometimes it's credit to the opposition as well, because it can be extremely demanding. And the way we play as well, when you have less players and less capacity to rotate, it becomes more difficult. The idea and the aim is to be able to sustain that. Right, now, let me come to this paragraph here. Let's zone in on this paragraph here. That is the biggest message to the Cronkies ever, that he needs help. That is the biggest message to the Cronkies, that they need to recruit and get reinforcements, because what he has said there is you can credit oppositions. It can be extremely demanding the way we play, but when you have less players and less capacity to rotate, it becomes more difficult. That basically says, look, I've got 22 players here. It's the finished squad in the league. We've got less capacity to rotate, and we need to with these games we've got coming up thick and fast. This is going to become difficult if I don't get reinforcements in January. And I'm talking about reinforcements, not one player comes in or not nothing comes in. That's what I hope don't happen. He was asked on Ethan. He said he didn't really know. He said, I'm feeling something. I don't really know what it is. He's earned the right to step up and play for us. And now he starts to have some games, big games, and impact those games, which he's done. I'm gutted for him. It's going to stop that a little bit now. But it's another step in that development phase that he's in. But I'm really happy with the way he's going. Yeah, to be fair play. And then he was lastly asked on when Raheem Sterling will be back. Hopefully very soon. Well, that's clear, isn't it? That is as clear as mud, as they say. Yeah, hopefully very soon. Saka out for many, many weeks. Tomiyasu out for a few weeks. Ethan Nwaneri out for a few weeks. How many is that? Because Tomiyasu's been out for about 6 months. You've got many, many weeks. Saka, I think that's March, April. And then you've got Ben White, who's apparently back in February. No one has a clue. And we used to. You know, when we used to get told, oh, no, Thierry Henry's been out for 6 weeks. Oh, my God. And then you can start working out what games he comes back for. Now it's like, oh, don't tell anyone. Just say they're all out for a few weeks. Dear me. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's the press conference. Tomorrow night's game. What do I think? I was going to do more on this tomorrow, so I'll give you a brief rundown. Look, Bruno Gomares being out and Fabian Schär being out is actually 2 really good bits of news for Arsenal, because I do feel like we're a team that needs to win that midfield battle, and that's going to be hard with that trio, because I think they're phenomenal. I think it's up there with Chelsea's as being one of the best midfielders in the league. When you look at Tonali, Bruno G and Joe Linton, and you look at Lavia, Caicedo and Palmer, I think they're just brilliant. I think it's balanced in every single part of it. With Arsenal, we're a mess in the midfield. So look, the team, Raya in goal. Timber, I think, will come back at right back after his suspension. I think he'll remain and stick with Calafiori, but he might put Miles Lewis Skelly back in there. Should be Saliba and Gabriel, but he might bring Kivior back. I hope he doesn't, but he might do. I think it needs to be Partey and Rice in the midfield with Odegaard. I don't think he can continue to play Jorginho in there. He played the other day. And I think it has to be Jesus wide right, Havertz through the middle, and Martinelli on the left. If Kai Havertz is not well enough, I'd play Trossard in the 9 and then have Jesus and Martinelli wide and just let him switch around a bit. That's what I'd do. Because Trossard's doing nothing on that left. Looks terrible. And he's our best finisher. So put your best finisher at the number 9. That's what I would say. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let's concentrate on some transfer news before we do come to a close. There is an opportunity for us to look at some players, people. And it's really exciting. Really exciting. Get excited, Josh Kroenke said. Get excited because we've made an initial loan offer to Botafogo for Igor Jesus. It's an option to buy for 20 million euros, but the deal for the striker has been rejected. Now, it's coming out from reports in Brazil, so it's probably loose rumours and probably unreliable rumours. One, does anyone know who he is? It's no relation to Gabriel Jesus, apparently. Does anyone understand who he is? He scored 5 goals in 23 games. Botafogo, he has won stuff with, but over in Brazil. I think he's a centre forward that can play across the front three. More than happy for him to come in alongside an absolute legend. Do you know what? Actually, what am I kidding? No, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm sick of these signings. We've done it with Marquinhos. We've done it before with Fabio Vieira, who no one had heard of. I'm sick of this. It's got to be a proven winners now. I can't be having this. You know, judges said, oh, maybe we bring him in and someone else. Nah, not for me. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of it, you know? Like, we tried to do our best to kind of keep positive, don't we? But it is hard sometimes. A lot of people come at me for being negative. But that's not a signing that gets us across the line, is it? Yeah? That is no signing to get us across the line there. There's not something you look at and think, oh, do you know what? I'll be really happy with that signing. That's a fantastic bit of business, that. That's superb. No, it's not. It's not a fantastic bit of business whatsoever. But there is other news, should I say, on Vlahovic. Now, apparently, Juventus have said that he is available, and Arsenal, of course, have been interested before. Apparently, according to these rumours, Juventus will make Vlahovic available this summer for 65 million euros. Arsenal, Manchester United, and PSG are all interested in the striker. Look, I think that this signing is something that I thought the ship had sailed with. But would you take him now over what we've got? Yeah, I would. 100%. I think he's a good age. He knows where the goal is. My only problem is he a little bit too similar to Havertz? Is he a little bit too similar to what we've got with Kai Havertz? His first touch is abysmal from what I'm told over people in Italy, but he does have an eye for goal. Would you take this? Yes or no? Should we go in for him? Is 65 million best spent on Osimhen or Vlahovic? Is it best put towards Gyökeres? Because that's what I'd rather do. Or is it best put towards a wide forward? What's your thoughts on this one, people? Let me know. Vlahovic also being linked today with Manchester United in a swap deal plus cash for Joshua Zirkzee. And on Juventus, they have or are going to be releasing Douglas Luiz on loan with an obligation to buy in January. I think that would be a very good signing for Arsenal. It's an upgrade on Jorginho. It's an upgrade on Marino. It's a player I actually have always liked. Got the Brazilian connection. Maybe that would be a really good signing. I see Curtis in Turkish just talking about it now, so I thought I'd bring it up and see if there was anyone in the chat that would take Douglas Luiz and Vlahovic from Juventus. Would you take either of them? Would you take one of them? Would you take them both? Let me know. Let me know. We've also got more links today and rumours surrounding Omar Marmoush. Now, Marmoush, a player that actually I would like at Arsenal. Out of the players that we are linked with, it's one that's on fire right now. So I would say this. I think it would be a good signing. I think Omar Marmoush would be a good signing for Arsenal. And I think that it's a signing that would make sense. He can play wide right and up, wide left and up top, from what I understand. And Arsenal want to beat Liverpool and Spurs to the signing of Marmoush for £50 million from Frankfurt. It's a realistic amount of money, isn't it? It just makes sense. The others are also much more. If I said to you, what left winger do you want? I'm going to throw Kvaratskhelia at you. But he's going to be £100 million. He's going nowhere. So you need to look at it and say, maybe Omar Marmoush or Lookman or Cunha or Brian Mbuemo or Kudus or Semenyo would be more realistic as a wide forward. That's what we need to look at. Yeah, that's what we need to look at. So that's an interesting one for sure. Look, I think we're going to do something, people. I don't quite know what it's going to be, but I think we're going to do something. I really do. Let's look at other rumours as well before we come to a close. I have no idea who this guy is. Absolutely no idea who this guy is. But from Feyenoord, Arsenal and Liverpool are among the clubs to have scouted the Feyenoord winger Igor Paxal, 24 years old. The player could move this month for around 30 to 35 million euros. However, so far no talks have taken place and no offers have been made. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's half decent. I don't have a clue who he is. But if it's Liverpool that are interested also, then I imagine old Arnie Slot will probably be all over it. Let's take a look at his stats. What's he got so far for Feyenoord? He's got 4 goals and 6 assists, 17 games, 10 goals and assists, 1 goal and 4 assists in the Champions League. He's doing well, to be fair to him. He is doing well, to be fair. I can't say that's a terrible thing, but I think there's more. There's more, to be honest. More out there. Linked with Kubo yesterday. Kubo, is it? I don't know enough about him. Real Sociedad winger, Japanese. I don't know how good he is. But there's a lot of talk that we're in for forwards. The other thing that was interesting today was that Cunha has not signed a new deal with Wolves, but he has been offered one and he's debating whether to sign it or not. I think he's used Arsenal to get a Wolves contract. That's what I think he's done. He's used not just Arsenal, but he said, look, I'm tempted. I'm getting offers here. All of a sudden, lo and behold, they offer him a contract. Absolutely mad. Look, people, I'll be back later. I'm going to be back at 8 p.m. for Race for Europe. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you click on the Reality Raffles link in the description or in the pinned comments to get your raffle ticket, to get your tickets. So please make sure you do that. Follow the link, use the code FTM10 and you'll get 10% off. And make sure that you click on the Eventbrite link in the description to get your tickets for the Hippodrome Casino because we're all going there live. This is London is being brought to you live on the 24th of January. We've got special guests. We've got lead judges. We've got Sophie Nicolau from Highbury Squad. We've got myself. We've got Dee, Don, Lawless, Deji, and we've got Guna Lee. We'll have lead judges there also with some special guests. So please make sure if you want to come meet all of us, come and have a chat with us. Come and watch us live. Come listen to us. It'd be great to see you there. All you need to do is scan the QR code or click on the Eventbrite link in the description. So make sure that you get your tickets. Big up to every single one of you. I will be back and see you at 8 p.m. with all the guys for Race for Europe. Take it easy. We're out of here. And as always, up the Arsenal. Latest, people.